All right, YouTube. I have a confession to make. And I'm not good at this type of stuff, obviously. But I think it's important, and I think it needs to be said, not only just for me, but for, other people around the world who struggle with the same thing. And that is, I have an unhealthy relationship and addiction to social media. And I know this video is not gonna go viral. I know a lot of the people who subscribe to this channel only subscribe, because I teach them how to make money, and they don't actually really care about me as a person. And, that's okay. I'm not gonna be like upset about that or anything. But, sometimes I wanna make videos on topics that I feel passionately about. And just, so if you struggle with the same thing, that hopefully this video is able to help you, because I think a lot of people, have a negative relationship with social media. A lot of people go on Instagram and they compare themselves to other people and they feel bad about their own lives. A lot of people, are checking Facebook and getting so many notifications every single day on, Instagram and WhatsApp and Snapchat and their email, that people literally just like zoom through life and never actually take a moment to just like sit down and record a video like this, or sit down and have like a one-to-one conversation like with your mom or like with your dad or with your boyfriend or girlfriend, or the people that really matter in life. Because if you're sick or you're like on your deathbed or you're like going to prison, right, social media is not going to be there for you, but your family is, right? Your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your husband, your wife, your best friends, right? Those are the type of people that are going to be there. Those are the people who actually matter. And so I know this video is not going to go viral. I know the quality of this video is much lower, but I just felt like sitting down and having like an actual kind of like brain dump where I can get this off my own chest, and then talk about how I'm going to actually start working on this. And I realized this the other day when I was actually using Instagram. I think I saw a post that some other entrepreneur created, and we had like a really strong day in my business, right? Like we did, above average from what we usually do per day as far as like sales and software and affiliate and, YouTube and everything. But I saw someone else who was, 10 to 13 years older, who posted a screenshot of, the amount of money they made, or some new car that they had, or like a house or something. And I did something that I think is really natural for humans to do, which is I compared myself to that person, right? When really that doesn't make any logical sense, but you have to think about it like this. Instagram was literally designed by the smartest people in the world to addict you to it, right? Because if you're on Instagram longer, you see more advertisements. And if you see more advertisements, then Instagram as a business makes more money. And so every decision that Instagram developers and designers and product designers and, UI and all of the different literal geniuses that are recruited by Facebook, all they do all day long, every single day, is they make decisions on how to make you more addicted to the platform. Because if you're more addicted to the platform, then you spend more money on the platform, and then Instagram makes more money as a platform. And so what I was finding was I was opening Instagram so many times per day, but I never actually got any happiness from it, right? The only happiness that I ever got from Instagram is when I saw, a friend of mine or something like that, in a really specific way. Which happened very, very rarely. Normally when I went on, right, I saw pictures of people traveling, and I saw pictures of, fancy cars or new houses or new achievements. And I inherently, as a human being, compare myself to those things. And what the problem with Instagram isn't reality, right? Instagram is a peak into the highlight reels of other people's lives. Like when people go to Thailand, they only show you like the epic picture in like Koh Samui when they're, out in the sunset kissing their boyfriend and everything looks incredible, right? They don't show you, when they get malaria or food poisoning and, they have diarrhea for 7 straight days, sitting in their hostel, right? Nobody shows that stuff because that's just not what Instagram is. Instagram is literally just basically a bragging contest, right? And it's not just Instagram. I just use Instagram as an example because I think it's probably the worst right now, that's making people the saddest and actually doesn't have much utility at all, right? And so what you have to realize is, there's just all these unbelievably unrealistic expectations that fitness influencers and like these beautiful women and like these other, men are putting out there that are making people just feel so bad about themselves, right? There's these women that dedicate their lives, every decision, all of the foods they eat, they work out 2-3 times a day, and then they still use airbrushes, right? Photoshop, all of these things to just create this unbelievably unrealistic ideal for what you should look like as a woman to feel happy or, feel beautiful. And the same thing happens with men and with entrepreneurs. And, you have to buy the next biggest thing or the next biggest car or the next biggest boat or even like a plane, how some people are doing. And it's just crazy. It's really crazy to think about it. And so I kind of sat down and realized what social media had done to me. Like I started all of this, a little bit over 2 years ago when I started to become, an entrepreneur and really started to take things seriously. And what I realized was I haven't taken a single day off of social media in over 2 years. Like literally not 24 hours had passed that I hadn't taken a single break from social media. And so what I did was recently, I took Instagram, Facebook, Messenger, Snapchat, and Reddit, which are the biggest 5 wastes of my life, and I put them all in a folder at the end of my phone, right? Like on the final page of my iPhone, you can see them all hidden over here in the like farthest clutches of my iPhone, right? And so the craziest thing happened literally multiple times per day, 5 times, 10 times, 20 times, even 50 times probably. I don't even want to admit it, but it's honestly true. 50 times in a single day, whenever the conversation paused, right? Whenever there was a down moment at the gym between sets, whenever there was like a commercial on TV, whenever there was any type of gap in whatever I was doing in my life, my hand would automatically go to my pocket. Right? It would automatically bring out my cell phone and I would automatically go to press where Facebook was, where Instagram was, where Messenger was, where whatever was, to see if I had any notifications, right? And 50 times that first day, I was like, oh my gosh, wait, I moved these, I'm taking a break from social media. And it was just the craziest thing to me because my brain is literally addicted. Like they had successfully, like the creators of Instagram and Facebook, and I don't blame them, right? I don't blame them at all, but they had successfully, literally physically addicted me to Instagram. And it was the craziest thing because 50 times a day, I would bring my phone out, I would scroll to where Instagram was and I would click it, but I moved the app. Right? And then the app wasn't there and I'd be like, oh my gosh, wait, like I told myself that I was gonna stop using Instagram. And the first 24 hours was hard. Like honestly, like maybe that sounds pathetic. Maybe, you guys don't use social media like that. I don't know, maybe I'm just weird, but I think honestly, maybe I'm just pathetic, but I think other people struggle with this as well. Struggle with the comparison on Instagram, struggle with, feeling of sadness that Instagram kind of like inherently gives you as a person, trying to compare yourself to these unrealistic expectations and highlights of other people's lives when really you don't know the full picture, right? And then also just the addiction to being glued to your phone, right? Like the next time you're on the subway or the bus or some like collection of people or like a plane, look at how many people are looking at their phones, right? And I'm not saying it's realistic to like go just like twiddle your thumbs on like a plane for the entire time. Like obviously like your phone has, books and things like that. What I'm saying is it's worth it as a human being to be cognizant of how addicted you are, if you are, to social media. And so I took a 48-hour cleanse from social media. And that might not sound like the longest time to you, right? But when you're running a large business that is run from social media, it's a long time. And so, I didn't give my employees any advanced notice. I probably should have. But I basically just said, hey guys, like I'll be back in 48 hours at 1:30 p.m. I came back 48 hours later and lo and behold, my business is still running. It's still doing very well. The world didn't shatter. I probably had 700 outstanding Facebook messages and, probably 1,000 outstanding notifications on Facebook and Instagram and Snapchat, that I went through. But it felt really good, right? I felt much more in touch with myself. Like I meditated more than I normally do because, you know, I guess I didn't have as much distractions. I went out and actually talked to people, like my friends. I talked to strangers at the gym, right? I had multiple workouts per day. I read more, like I read more books that I don't, you know, make time for otherwise because social media distracts me. And I didn't feel as anxious. Right? That was probably the biggest thing to me. Like I didn't feel as much anxiety because, you know, you just feel anxiety. It's like part of being with Instagram. It's like, oh, did I get another like? Did I get another message? Did I get another, you know, comment? Right? And you're just like constantly like getting sucked back into this, how you're designed to do. And, you know, it was just really interesting to me that I was like, I felt much calmer and much more, you know, at peace than I had probably in close to 2 years just by taking a 48-hour break. And so, you know, what I would advise to you, if you struggle with this as well, which I think a lot of people do, but, or maybe, you know, I'm just pathetic. I'm not honestly sure. But if you struggle with this as well, and you know you struggle with comparing yourself and feeling unhappy, you know, looking at other people and their highlight reels on Instagram, right? What I would suggest you do is the following. At the very least, take the social media apps that you use most, right? Whether it's Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Reddit, right? It doesn't matter what it is. And literally physically take the app, move the app onto a different part of your phone and watch how many times per day your brain jumps to click that app without even thinking about it. And I promise you it's gonna be very strange when you see subconsciously that your brain goes back to that. Whenever there's a momentary lapse of, you know, attention, whenever there's no distraction, your brain kind of resets to that norm and that social media and that addiction that you know, have been addicted to purposefully by, you know, genius programmers and genius UI designers and geniuses, you know, at Facebook and social media conglomerate companies. Because the truth is, there's always going to be somebody with more followers, or somebody that's prettier, or somebody who seems happier, or like the perfect couple, or somebody who's traveling all the time that's going to make you feel jealous, and it's going to make you feel sad, right? Comparison is toxic to happiness. Right? Remember that. Comparison is toxic to happiness. The only thing you should ever be comparing in your own life is where you were a year ago to where you are now. And if you can really buy into that, I promise you that you are going to be so much happier if you can really honestly buy into that. But it's not something that just happens like all at once, right? You have to daily remind yourself, continue to recenter yourself and say, wait, Kevin, like you shouldn't be looking at all of this stuff, right? You should only be comparing yourself now to where you were last week or last month or last year, right? With your business, with your health, with your relationships, with your friends, with your family, with your girlfriend, whatever the case may be, right? So remember, comparison is absolutely toxic to happiness. Move your app somewhere on the far end of your phone, right? And watch how addicted your brain is to it. And then what I would really suggest you do, if you're able to, right? If not, like you can put some planning in and then, you know, kind of go into it. I would suggest taking a 48-hour break, right? If you want to go 24 hours, do it. If you want to go a week, do that. But take some type of break from all social media. Turn off all the push notifications on your phone, you know, turn off all of the sounds, turn off all the vibrations, turn off everything with your phone, and just literally be present, right? Be present with your conversations, set up plans with, you know, friends or family members that you haven't talked to in a while. Call your mom, right? Whatever the case may be. Because I promise you, if you do that and you really make time for the people and the things in your life that matter, right? Social media doesn't matter. Your parents matter, your friends matter, your family matters, your business, your life, right? Be present in the moment and remember that if Instagram is making you sad, you have the ability to become happy again. It just takes a little bit of introspection, right? And a break from what is actively trying to addict you. So I love you guys. I know this was like a very weird video, like compared to most of the videos I make. And like, honestly, I was like kind of nervous to make it just because like I'm really bad at being vulnerable. And a lot of people, you know, probably are gonna say, Kevin, like we don't care about your actual personal life. We just wanna see, you know, tutorials on making money. So hopefully we're not gonna see too many of those comments, but if we do, I still love you guys too. But I just wanted to give you guys a little bit more of like a, you know, kind of look into what I'm struggling with. Because a lot of people see me and like think that, you know, just because I have a successful business that my life is perfect, but it's actually the farthest thing from, right? everybody struggles, everybody goes through things, everybody has their own problems, and the grass always looks greener. And so one of the ways to become happier as a person is to remove comparison from your life and to try to wean yourself off of the addiction that social media has really kind of like come into our lives and addicted us to it. And so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that it meant something to you. If it did, if you've ever struggled with anything similarly, comment down below. I promise I will personally read every single one of the comments on this video. And I can't wait to hear from all of you guys, and we'll see you on the next video. Love you guys.